A warm welcome to yet another very important video on your own YouTube channel, that is Pravin PrepWin ICSE. This video is important because you are going to write your maths paper next. Problem with the maths paper will be that most of you are going to struggle to complete the paper in time. That was what has been found by most of the teachers during your pre-board examination. So here I am presenting in front of you the special tips, the tips to save your time, the tips, the important tips, so that you can complete your paper on time and you come out of your examination hall with a very big smile on your face, with a confidence that the hurdle of maths you have crossed successfully. On the contrary, if you are feeling low at any point of your time during the preparation of the examination, you have this playlist of intro and about us on your own YouTube channel, that is PrepWin ICSE. Here I have made two special videos for you. Those are motivational videos. Through this video I am trying to pump a positive energy in you so that all the papers which you are going to write, you are going to write it successfully and you are coming out with the flying colors in your examination. So let us not waste the time and start with our special tips. Special tips for getting 40 on 40 in your maths paper. Important tips to score 40 on 40 in your next maths paper. Follow these important tips, special tips given by me, and you will see that you are easily completing your paper. So what are we going to do? We will start with the unit circle and we will go chapter after chapter, and remember, these are the tips given by the council to the students so that they complete their paper on time. Most of the teachers and students, they have written to the council to give extra time for the maths paper so that they can complete the paper on time. The council has not given any extra time, but they have given us certain tips to complete our paper. So what are these tips? So for chapter circle, there are certain points which you need to remember. Point number 1 is always draw your diagram. Whether diagram is asked to be drawn or it is not asked, you always have to draw a diagram. This is not a tip to save a time. It will consume time, but yes, this was the instruction given by the council. So please don't forget that when you are solving a question from circle where you find out measure of various angles, so they have instructed us to redraw the diagram. If diagram is given, you have to redraw it. If diagram is not given, then you have to read the question and you have to draw a diagram. Mark all the given data on your diagram drawn. That means all the data which is there in the question, given data, that you have to mark in the diagram. Please note that if you have to find out angle PQR, answer you are not going to mark in the diagram, but all the given information. In fact, only given informations should be marked in the diagram. Next tip is give reason. In geometry, statement and reason. Say you are framing a certain equation कि this angle is half of this angle. So what make you think that? Okay, or this angle is equal to this angle because they are in same arc or they are in the alternate segment. Okay, these reasons you have to compulsorily mention. Right? Know all your theorems thoroughly. I have the other video in which I have given the formulae, PDF of the formulae for the entire syllabus. for your semester 2 examination. In that PDF, I have included all the 11 theorems from this chapter circle. Now after circle, we will come to the unit mensuration. Here you have only one chapter. Remember that marks distribution is unit wise. So this unit mensuration has only one chapter. So this chapter will be having a maximum weightage. So don't leave this chapter as a option. In fact, I will suggest don't leave any chapter as a option. So mistakes to avoid. Council is expecting us to avoid this mistake in this chapter of cylinder and cone. That is, don't use incorrect formulae. There are many formulae in this chapter. You have to by heart, you have to learn, and you have to remember them, and also recollect it correctly during your examination. So incorrect formula will not give you correct answer. Mistake number 2 to be avoided is trying to solve problem in lengthy and complicated way. I'll give you an example. If you have to find out number of objects, then we have to use a formula. Let us say a bigger object is cylinder. Formula for volume of cylinder is pi r square h, and formula of cone is 1 upon 3 pi r square h. That is the volume of the cone. So don't find out the volume of cylinder separately and cone separately. You can substitute here. You can scratch off or cut off pi. Then this will become very easy to solve. Okay, pi is eliminated, so all unwanted parts are eliminated. So we have to avoid using lengthy methods. Now suggestion number 3 is use the correct value of pi. Now about this pi, this is a special tip, important tip which you have to remember. Value of pi, when it is left to us, we will always take value of pi as 22 upon 7. If not 22 upon 7, inside the bracket with the sum, they can give us any value. Either they can give you 22 upon 7 or 3.14. So when they give us any value, like a obedient student, we are going to take same value given by them. But when it is up to us, we are going to take value of pi as 22 by 7. Tip number 4, the mistake to be avoided, that is finding out a volume separately. Okay, I already have covered that with an example of division. Suppose if you have to add the volumes of cylinder and cone, so don't find them separately. Again, pi can be taken out common, and whatever terms you get, so you have to use this shortcut. This is what council is telling us. Then suggestion number 5 is that not rounding of the answers as specified in the question. Sometimes in the question they ask you to express as a integer. Integer means what? No decimal point. Suppose if you get your answer as 300.27, so in terms of integer this answer will be 300. And if they ask you to write this answer in 1 decimal point, then write only in 1 decimal point. And in case of 2 decimal points, please, moral of the story is that please listen to the instruction, follow to the instructions which are given. After this unit of mensuration, next unit we have is the trigonometry. In trigonometry there are 2 chapters. First chapter is trigonometric identities. What are the tips given to us by the council for this chapter? Start from the complex expression, either LHS or RHS, to prove equality, right? It means what? Now you have to prove that LHS is equal to RHS. So council is saying that if you want, you can start with LHS and you can show that it is equal to RHS, or else also you can start with RHS. Whatever is complex, start with that, and then you can go towards the easier one. You can show RHS is equal to LHS, or even LHS is equal to RHS. Next tip is never transform any term from one side to the another side. Like here in this example, what do we see? Suppose question is sin theta plus tan theta is equal to cot theta plus cos theta. This is what we have to prove. So you cannot say that ki I am going to prove it like this, ki sin theta minus cos theta is equal to cot theta minus tan theta. In short, whatever is a given question, you cannot fiddle, you cannot change that question. You have to solve as it is given. So transferring LHS to RHS or any term from LHS to RHS and vice versa is not allowed. No squaring on both the sides. Again this part, listen carefully. Sometimes what happened, we have a question like sin theta, we have to prove is equal to what? Square root of tan theta by cos theta. Just I am taking a random example to prove. So you cannot take squares on both sides. You cannot say I am going to prove sin square theta is equal to tan theta. This is not an identity. I am just giving this for an understanding. I want to make this point clear कि whatever question is there, if that question include a root sign, to remove the root side you cannot take squares on both the sides. Tip number 4 is try proving identity from one side, show that is equal to the right hand side. As I told you, you can start with LHS and then you can solve it and get the answer for the RHS. You can show LHS is equal to RHS, or even you can show RHS is equal to LHS. Anyway, in both of the ways you will be getting a full marks. But you should not work, okay, you should not solve it like this, working both sides together. Means what? Again I'll take same example ki sin theta, okay, plus tan theta is equal to what? Cot theta plus cos theta. You are taking this and then you are solving this part, then you are solving this, and finally you are showing that therefore, okay, what? Cos theta is equal to cos theta. This method is absolutely wrong. You will get 0 if you solve both the sides together. Means that you have to solve LHS separately and RHS separately. Now tip number 6, if both sides of the expression are complex, okay, so this point also we have already covered. If both are difficult, what you can do is like you start with LHS, solve it, get a simpler answer. Let us say LHS is equal to sin theta. Then you can start with RHS. This is also complex one and this is also complex one. So you solve this also and you get this also as a sin theta. Then finally you can say LHS is equal to RHS, hence proved. And moving on to next step, use the standard identity wherever applicable. What are the standard identities? So sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1 is your first standard identity. Then sec square theta is equal to 1 plus tan square theta is identity number 2. And identity number 3 is cosec square theta is equal to 1 plus cot square theta. Wherever applicable, wherever possible, you have to use these 3 basic identities. Now use algebraic identities to simplify your result and prove the identity. One identity will be given which we call as a question. So we will be using the 3 identities which I told you just now to prove the question which is given to us. And how to prove the question? We can prove LHS is equal to RHS. If you don't want to do this, then you can also prove RHS is equal to LHS, or you can solve LHS separately and RHS separately. You get the same result and finally you can say LHS is equal to RHS. So these are the 3 methods which you are allowed. You cannot take square on both the sides. That means you cannot play, you cannot fiddle, you cannot change the question. You cannot solve both the questions together and show that LHS is equal to RHS. So please follow the instructions properly. Now coming to heights and distances, generally these are the questions where a situation is given to you. You have to convert that situation into mathematical figure or a diagram. Most of the time, almost all the time, the diagram which you draw is a right angled triangle. So draw that right angled triangle and show all the given informations in your diagram. Council is saying that then your solving will become easier. If irrational term is there, this is very important instruction. If you have irrational number in a denominator, don't substitute a value over here. Root 3 is 1.732. Don't do this. Instead, what you have to do, you have to rationalize the denominator. This trick you have learned in your 9th standard. So rationalize the denominator. Okay, don't substitute irrational number or number with root values in the denominator. Next tip is read your sum carefully and understand whether a problem is based upon angle of elevation, whether looking up, or angle of depression, looking down. That is again very important. Follow the instructions given in the question and give your final answer in a specified form, that is rounding off. This instruction is repeated from the chapter mensuration. So how do they want the answer? In a form of an integer, or in a form of a decimal point after 1 digit, or decimal point after 2 digit. Read your question carefully and answer accordingly. So in case of standard angles like 0 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree and 90 degree, no need to use your mathematical table or so-called log table. Then directly you need to by heart this. You need to by heart these values of the standard angles. Okay, table will not be provided if this question is given. Okay, then if angles are not standard angle, any angle other than this, then council is going to provide you mathematical log table to solve this question and a special reference given to this kind of question. There are 2 points. I have covered this in my other video also and in my live streaming. Please join me. I am going to solve this question in a great detail. Here I am giving you tips. So council has given us 2 formulae, okay, to solve question like this. They are same question, only difference is that a person is standing on a top of a tower and he is observing at 2 ships, or a person is standing on a building and he is watching at the car approaching towards himself. So these ships or car, okay, they can be on a different sides of the building or a lighthouse, or they can be on a same side of a building or a lighthouse. So these are 2 different formula. What is the difference? In one formula there is a plus sign and in another formula there is a minus sign. So this question, I feel, since they have given a special reference to this kind of question, this question is a sure shot question without any iota of doubt in my mind. Okay, then we come to mean median mode. ओके ये वाला पार्ट बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स लोगों ने रॉन्ग वे में इंटरप्रेट किया है. बोर्ड इज सेइंग दैट स्टूडेंट्स हैव टू लर्न ऑल 3 मेथड्स टू फाइंड आउट अ मीन. डायरेक्ट मीन मेथड, okay, mean method by shortcut method and step deviation method. Yes, question will be asked in the examination. You have to solve a question by any one method. It doesn't mean that you are going to learn any one. Maybe in the examination they will specify which method they want for the solution of this question, right? And here we come to the next part of statistics, is probability. Yes, probability is also a part of statistics, of a same unit called statistics. So here board have clearly mentioned, told us that there will be 4 kind of questions. Question related to a coin which is tossed up. So there will be 1 coin or 2 coins or 3 coins. So you have to practice question of all 3 types of these 3 types involving 1 coin or 2 or 3 coins. Then a die is rolled. When you play snake and ladder, you use a die. So either 1 die or 2 dice will be rolled. So question related to that, and a number card pulled out. Okay, a card bearing a number. Okay, so single card is pulled out. This question can be asked. And finally, a ball is selected from a bag, a colored ball, 1 ball at a time. So what is a probability? This 4 kind of questions. So this was all about your paper which you are going to write on Monday. Maths paper, the most important paper, the biggest challenge in front of you. Follow these tips properly, follow these instructions properly. Special tips given by me. In fact, this is given by board. Okay, if you know, well and good, and if you don't know, here they are. See this video if required once again and rock in your examination. Get 40 on 40 in your examination. We are meeting very soon once again. Till then, best of luck.